how's everyone out there doing? Before we get started with today's topic, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, hit that post notification bell to support me and keep this channel going. And without further ado, let's get started with today's topic. And that's right, we're doing divisional round picks. I'm going to start off with the first matchup, which will be the Baltimore Ravens, the 1 seed, versus the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have had an absolute amazing year. Like I said, they shouldn't have won their division. They ended up doing that. They shouldn't have made the playoffs. They ended up doing that. Once again, this team should not be as good as they are. I did not expect them to have some good wide receivers. I didn't expect C.J. Stroud to go off. I didn't expect their defense to be as good as it is. However, they made the Cleveland Browns defense look absolutely terrible. The best defense in the NFL. Myles Garrett, who's arguably the defense player of the year, was not a factor in that game. They made Joe Flacco look like he sat on the couch for 5 months. That Houston Texans team played like they had nothing to lose. Because guess what? They have nothing to lose. They only have something to gain from this playoff run. And it's a remarkable playoff run. And I said it that this was going to be close because they didn't play C.J. Stroud. He's a different animal. This is a different team with him there. And he proved it once again against the Cleveland Browns. Congratulations to you, young man. You deserve it. However, he is running into the 1 seed, the Baltimore Ravens. This is not the same Baltimore Ravens team it was a few years ago in 2019, 2020 when they had the 1 seed, when they got bounced in the divisional round by the Tennessee Titans after Derrick Henry literally murdered that whole team. This is not the same team. This is a different team. This is a different squad. They have a different mentality. Lamar Jackson is the MVP frontrunner. He's going to win the MVP, but he's not alone anymore. He doesn't have to rely on his legs all the time. They have weapons galore. If they get Andrews back, imagine that 2 tight end set. That's going to be dangerous. That defense is dangerous. This Baltimore Ravens team is the best team in football, and they're going to prove why this coming weekend. Yes, I think they might be a little rusty to start off. Houston might get an early lead. I think Houston will keep it incredibly close. However, at the end of the day, I do think the Baltimore Ravens will get the win and move on to the AFC Championship game. Moving on from one seed to the next 1 seed, we will be talking about the 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers, the best team in the NFC, they have blown out the other best teams in the NFC. Well, at the time, who we thought they were, the Philadelphia Eagles, which the downfall of the Eagles needs to be studied from this season. That is just crazy to me. And the Dallas Cowboys, however, they got absolutely destroyed by the Baltimore Ravens. I think this 49ers team is really good. Obviously, they're the 1 seed. They're at home. They have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel. They have George Kittle. This team is dangerous. That defensive line is really, really, really dangerous. This team is good. However, they're playing that Green Bay Packers, who have played the best football of the whole year for them the past 3 games against the Bears, the Vikings, and then against the Dallas Cowboys. They sent the Cowboys packing like they normally do. Jordan Love has had an amazing year. Whatever the Green Bay Packers are doing with these quarterbacks needs to be studied because it doesn't make sense. Star fire Rodgers Love. Makes absolutely no sense. He is a star in the making. And like I said, what he was able to do, take this team to the playoffs. I didn't expect him to make it to the playoffs, yet alone win the game. And he was able to do all that in his first year fully starting for the team. However, I think some traditions are going to keep going as well. And I do believe the 49ers will edge out the Green Bay Packers. Do I think the Packers can beat the 49ers with the momentum they currently have? Absolutely, but I'm going to be a safe man here. And I'm going to bet on the 49ers to defeat the Green Bay Packers like they always do. Moving on to the next matchup we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions. We're either going to have Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff in the NFC Championship game, 1 game away from a Super Bowl. That is absolutely crazy and bizarre. And if you would have told me that at the beginning of this year, that Tampa Bay would have made it to the playoffs and would have knocked out the defending reigning NFC champions, I would have told you you lost your mind. But I told y'all last week that this Eagles team is very beatable. And if anyone can stop them, if anyone can defeat them, that team is Tampa Bay. And I told you, and I was right. I was right. Like I said, the downfall of the Eagles needs to be studied, y'all. It needs to be studied. Started off 10-1, finished 1-6. Absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. But let's not take nothing away from Tampa Bay. Sure, the Eagles were on the decline. However, Tampa Bay still played good football. They played great defense. That both of these teams' defensive line is really scary. Both of their defensive line could be really scary. They're really good. Both of these teams have terrible pass defense. However, if they get in the right groove with passing the ball, they're unstoppable with it. I think this game is going to come down to whoever gets the run game established. Both of these teams can get their run game established, but whoever accomplishes first, I think will win the game as well. There's multiple factors that can go into winning this game. Detroit winning their first game after 30 years in the playoffs. What an amazing sight to see. Who would have thought Jared Goff? People wrote Jared Goff off when he got traded to the Lions. I was one of those people who said they needed to draft a quarterback. He was just a placeholder. He proved he is not a placeholder. I have some concerns about Jared Goff still, but at the end of the day, Jared Goff is the man right now in Detroit, and I think Detroit is the better, well-rounded team. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this win to Detroit. However, don't be surprised, and this game is in Detroit, but don't be surprised. Do not be surprised if Tampa Bay beats them, because Tampa Bay is capable of this. When Tampa Bay is hot, they're hot. But when they're cold, they're cold. Same thing with the Lions, but the Lions has the more complete team, and they're more consistent, so I have to pick the Detroit Lions. Moving on to the final game of divisional weekend, the biggest game. This is going to be the best game in my opinion. The Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs defense looked absolutely incredible against the Miami Dolphins. They gave up one big play to Tyreek Hill, but other than that, they made the Dolphins look like a JV middle school team. I mean, they absolutely embarrassed the Miami Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills came off of a win from the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know. It almost got a little too close to comfort, but you know, Buffalo pulled out the win. Buffalo, the fact that they almost did not make the playoffs. They had like a 24% chance to make the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. They went from that to not only winning their division, getting the 2 seed and making the playoffs is so incredible. Like I said, their defense, they have a good defense. They have a good offense. I'm just concerned about the turnovers with Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills either play really good or, like I said before, they beat themselves. And I hope they don't do that this week. I really do. I hope they do not do this week. Moving on to the Kansas City side of the ball, like I said, they absolutely destroyed the Dolphins. Their defense looked elite. Their defense is elite. And I think the defense will have a good showing. However, I do not think that their offense is going to be able to keep up with Buffalo. I think their offense is a little less explosive than Buffalo's. Pacheco could go off again. That's possible. However, I do not trust the wide receivers on the Chiefs because when big moments, they cannot catch the ball. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. You do not bet against Patrick Mahomes, but I'm going to be one dumb person, and I think that is finally going to happen. They have their number in the regular season. They finally going to have their number in the postseason, and the Buffalo Bills are going to make their Super Bowl happen. That's right. I'm picking Bills Mafia to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going with it, and they will be back in the AFC Championship game for the first time in a long time. So those are my predictions for you. I have the 49ers, the Detroit Lions, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills moving on to the conference championships. You let me know who you think will be in the AFC and NFC championship down below. And until next time, Steven Counter out, y'all.